Hello YouTube, it's Tony. So today I'll be showing you a Hellhounds guide for 2018. So yeah, this guide's going to be dedicated towards training melee, as well as farming hard clue scrolls. Now my setup's going to be geared towards those who are nearly fully AFK. While what I'm demonstrating is a high level setup, but don't freak out because it's still doable at the lower levels with alternative gear. The best location for this is at the Taverley Hellhound Resource Dungeon, which requires 55 Dungeoneering. You can get there directly by using your Horde Stalker ring or your Dungeoneering skill cape perk. Otherwise, you're going to have to enter the Taverley dungeon and then walk all the way around and get the Dusty Key and then open it to get there. Now, if you're going to go that way, then I do suggest you have level 70 or 80 agility. Alright, so here's my equipment setup. I'm using a melee setup because they're weak to slash attacks. I think you can mage them if you want. Anyways, I'll start off with Noxious Scythe, and the perks I suggest are Precise 5 and Aftershock 3. Otherwise, if you don't have that, that's fine. I would at least suggest you use a tier 70 Halberd. You can use Guthin's Spear if you can't sustain full HP. Then I have the full Bandos armor, but I mean otherwise you can just use full Guthin set with a Guthin Spear if you can't sustain full HP once again. So the perks I suggest on Bandos are Impatient 3, as well as Biting 2 plus Mobile. Now the Scavenging 2 and 3 perk can also be helpful here. After that I have the Cinderbane Gloves, but I mean it's pretty optional, although it does add some poison damage. If you don't have that, that's fine, just use Bandos Gloves instead. So afterwards, I have Luck of the Dwarves, and this increases the drop rate of clue scrolls. The Demon Horn necklace is going to be really nice here, as it makes it a lot more AFK with Unlimited Prayer. However, if you are struggling to sustain full HP, then you can use a Blood Amulet instead. So in my pocket slot, I have an Uncharged God Book, but I mean it's pretty optional anyways. Finally, I have Vampirism Aura, or you can use Inspiration Aura. Now the Vampirism Aura is going to be helpful for extra healing, especially for those who don't have Soul Split unlocked. Alright, so here's my inventory setup. First, I start off with Aggression Potion. While they're normally aggressive, but like you can camp the spot without having to leave and re-enter. Then I have the Holy Overloads, but don't worry about it if you don't have it unlocked. You can just use Super or Extreme Potions, or even with the Berserk Essence as well. So the Weapon Poison ++ can add some minor DPS. You can also bring Potion Reservoirs, as this lets you automatically drink Aggression and Overload potions. However, it does cost too much to use, and I mean not everyone has level 112 Invention. So now the Kinetic Cyclone as well as the Cannonballs, well, this is basically the melee version of the Dwarf Cannon, which will provide extra AoE. You can also bring an Enhanced Excalibur, and that's for extra healing. I mean, you may need to bring a few pieces of food as well if you don't have Soul Split unlocked. Then finally you have the Legendary Pet, and so once in a while, it will loot the hard clue scrolls for you. In my Slayer tool belt, I have both Bone Crusher and Charming Imp. Alright, so here are my prayers. I have Turmoil and Soul Split. If you don't have either of them unlocked, that's fine, but it just makes it much more convenient basically. In my action bar, I'm going to be using a Revolution ++ setup, which basically enables you to use thresholds and ultimate abilities in the Revolution rotation. So in the first two slots, I have the two melee AoE abilities, which are Hurricane and Quake. Then in slot 3, I have the Meteor Strike. So after that I have Cleave, and that's the only melee basic ability that AoEs. Then finally you can fill it with any basic ability you want, as this is just for filling in the rotation. Alright, so here's a strategy. Just stand where I'm standing, which is in the south part of the dungeon, and it's a little north of the water pool. So yeah, you're going to place your cannon 1 square south and 1 square west of your character. Yeah, you're just going to pretty much keep AFKing while your character attacks. I mean, there's also a safe spot for world hopping, which is directly south. As for healing source, well, you don't really need any other healing source if you have Soul Split unlocked. Now you should be able to maintain full prayer points easily. Overall though, it doesn't really require that much effort, but I mean you should try to pay attention if there's a clue scroll drop, because the drops do disappear after 2 minutes. Alright, so in conclusion, I got 22 hard clue scrolls in 1 hour. I also got 450k melee XP per hour, in which case I killed 1200 Hellhounds. So honestly, this is slower than the Abyss, but I do have a guide on this and I'll leave that link in the description. I think without the melee cannon, it's around 400k XP per hour. You can probably expect closer to 350k if you're using lower tier gear. So yes, I also consumed 1700 cannonballs in an hour. As for the charms, I got 900 gold charms as well as a couple of crimsons and greens. So overall, this is pretty amazing for hard clue scrolls. I think the drop rate for that is 1 in 62.5. Now I might have missed a few drops for clue scrolls since I was pretty much AFKing. Other than that though, there isn't really much in the drop table sadly. Now I do have a 1 hour footage of me doing Hellhounds and I'll leave that link in the description. So yeah, thanks for watching and I hope it helps. If I missed anything, feel free to ask.